Page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulation and practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Soge Chonam Lo Chanjo Bajo Dane Gas Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjire Sanje Jubara Sho Sanje Joda Soge Chonam Lo Sonam Ge Jola Penjire Sanje Jubara Sho Sanje Joda Soge Chonam Penjo Abu Dani Gyakso Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjire Sanje Jubara Sho Om Ye Narama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavetat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Het Tesham Dathagato Yavetat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashamanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavetat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, where did we leave the early class? Anyone who remembers? Tenzin Shila?
We finished the 6 perfections.
Okay, anyone? 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 Bhumika ji?
Geshe, we talked about 6 perfections and how compassion, great
Yes,
compassion.
I'm more into out of the 9 steps which we done. Out of 9 steps, we're doing the 9 steps.
So we are on the reflecting on the merits of cherishing others.
Very good. Okay, we finished the first, second, third method, the steps. And the key to the Bodhicitta practice is particularly step 2 and step 3. Of course, step 1 should be the foundation. Step 2 and 3, if you succeed in these 2, the rest will fall in place. If you don't succeed in these 2, no matter what you do, the rest will not be of much benefit. So having said this, now we move to number 4 and number 5. Number 4 and number 5, these two steps are known as the practice of, in Tibetan, the practice of Tonglen. The practice of Tonglen. Tong means give, Len is take. So in Tibetan, this is how we say, but in actual practice, we do the Len first and then Tong second, but it's up to individual, not necessary. You can do it in any way which suits you. So practice of Tonglen. And we see that practice of Tonglen is very popular in the Tibetan tradition, across the Tibetan traditions, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gelug, all traditions. This is very popular. But the one thing that we need to remember is that some teachers, some people, some practitioners, when you go through some difficulties, they say that, oh, practice Tonglen. And this is not a good advice. This is not really good advice. You know why? Because you go through difficulties. You go through difficulties. You have the pain. When you go through pain, and Tonglen is to take more pain. Take the suffering of others with the emphasis of compassion. When you do that, you can go through burnout. And it happened to many people. I met with people, my friends, and there's some people. Say once I was in South India, so who invited me to give give series of the talk on Buddhist psychology, and the host was talking about Tonglen. I said that Tonglen is not advisable to be practiced directly, and the host said that you're right. The host said that she was going through difficulties, and then somebody asked her to do this practice. She did it, and she started to feel burnout, too overwhelmed, already having so much a problem, and then you're taking suffering from others is unbearable. This is what it is. And then my other friends also say the same thing. So the reality is that Tonglen is extremely effective, provided you have the step 2 and step 3. Tonglen, these two constitute step 4 and 5. So you must do the Tonglen with the step 2 and 3 accompanying that. In isolation, just Tonglen per se, for some people it can work, but majority will not work. If just Tonglen, step 4 and 5 directly, it can be counterproductive. It may not be as helpful. Whereas if you say with the benefit of step 3 and 4, step 2 and 3, the benefit of step 2 and 3 is that you feel that self-centered attitude is extremely harmful. Other cherishing mind is so precious than any practice. So you want to run away from self-centered attitude. How to run away from self-centered attitude? Practice other cherishing mind. So you practice other cherishing mind as a safe haven. Not that I'm cherishing others for your own benefit, that I want to run away from evil consequences of self-centered attitude. I run away from that. To run away from that, the best thing is to get hold of other cherishing. Any chance that you get to cherish others, be compassionate, be nice, be kind, helpful, that counteracts the self-centered attitude. Then all the evil results as a result of self-centered attitude will all be nullified or be removed. So therefore, the practice through the step number 2 and 3, if you include that, then Tonglen practice will be extremely effective. You will not feel burnout. Say in hospitals, to the COVID time, how many doctors and nurses they felt burnout? So many. And we must feel, say, generally speaking, we must feel sympathetic. We must feel so grateful to the doctors and nurses in those days, everywhere. And some malpractices, that's a different story. Otherwise, doctors were dying, nurses were dying. And then the nurses, doctors, some of them just lying on the aisle, the road, way inside the hospital, lying, just for resting for 5 minutes and then falling asleep, and some dying. This was a burnout. Okay. So just imagine that, say, a mother taking care of the child and a nurse taking care of the same child. Who do you think will feel burnout more quickly, the mother or the child? The nurse, yes. For example, say, This boy, Rishi, he's already 18 years old, and the mother has been nursing him for the last 18 years, no burnout. And if the same boy has been nursed by a nurse, forget about 18 years. If 1 year, the nurse would burn out, collapse. Not because he is naughty. There's so many things to be done. You will burn out so easily. The mother has love and affection. This love and affection will make you feel that I'm doing for myself, not like I'm doing for somebody else. Is the love and affection missing when you do something else? I'm doing for somebody else. That makes you feel burnout. When you say that I'm doing for somebody else, you feel that I am deprived. I am deprived. I'm spending time for that person. I am deprived. I'm deprived means I have this. You have this self-centered attitude. You feel that you are dejected. That makes you feel burnout. You're getting it? So therefore, the point is that steps 4 and 5 will be most effective if you practice step 2 and 3. Step 2 and 3 are the keys for practice. Okay, having said this, step 4. What is step 4? What is step 4? Anyone? Besides Carlton Sharabla and the Devikaji. Besides 2 of them, anyone else? Okay, Gabor. Step 4. Perfect. Okay, not only here. This is Sharabla, Devika and Chelsea. Chelsea, they had all these 9 steps by heart. Okay, now Gabor is saying, taking the suffering of others with the emphasis on compassion. This is step 4. Okay, for step 4, one thing that I'd like to tell you is the meditation. These are some of the tips that we need to remember. The difference between meditation emptiness and meditation on Bodhicitta. Meditation on Bodhicitta, you can be as creative as possible. You don't have to stick to what I said. You don't have to stick to that. As long as you have the main framework intact, the 9 steps intact, main reasons intact, the rest you can be very creative. You can bring experiences you have seen, you have experienced yourself, you have read, you bring all them here. Whereas for wisdom of emptiness, don't be creative. If you are creative, you will end up in a strange creativity. You're getting it? You are in a very strange creativity world. It can make you crazy. You're getting it? So, for the wisdom of emptiness, don't be creative. If at all you want to be creative, first be patient. First, don't be creative. Just follow the steps as taught by the Buddha, by Nagarjuna, Acharya Chandrakirti, and these great teachers. Just follow as they taught. And if possible, try to study the tenet systems of the different traditions. This whole book, they refer to as the tenet systems of the different schools, and then you do the compare, contrast. Don't be creative. Whereas for the Bodhicitta, you can be as creative, because Bodhicitta is purely based on the common people's common sense based reasons. Whereas the emptiness concept is not based on the ordinary people's common sense. It is based on the common sense of the intellectual peoples, very high intellectual peoples who have never actually have these experiences. So therefore we have to follow what they taught. Whether for compassion, Bodhicitta, from what we are sharing with you, you will see that, oh yeah, I know that that's what he said is true. You will acknowledge that. Only things that we don't correlate them, put them into a particular set to let your mind grow. Otherwise, common sense wise, you already know already. Okay, first, number 4, taking the suffering of others with emphasis on compassion. So here, compassion, loving kindness, the difference. Don't just say that compassion, loving kindness, these two are the same. Don't impose your own definition. Is that these two have a very specific meanings. Compassion is a mental state of love and affection, which wishes others to be freed from suffering. Let me repeat it. Compassion, very specific definition, that it is a mental state of affection,
is a mental state of affection or love which wishes others to be freed from suffering. And if you want to add suffering and the cause of suffering, that's better. But to be very complete, it should be the mental state of love and affection which wishes others to be freed from suffering. The next, loving kindness. Loving kindness is the mental state of affection or love which wishes others to be endowed with happiness. And if you want to add the cause of happiness, you add it. But generally speaking, this is very comprehensive, the definition. Mental state of love and affection which wishes others to be endowed with happiness, and the causes they endowed with happiness, full stop. And cause of happiness you want to add to make it richer, you can make it. Okay, so the number 4, taking the suffering of others with the emphasis of compassion. And these 2 steps, taking suffering of others and giving happiness to others, these 2, there are so many varieties of practices. Not that what I'm teaching is correct and all others are wrong, if they differ. All are correct as long as you practice them and your compassion is growing, your loving kindness is growing. These practices are perfect. So there are various ways. So the same are the step 4, taking the suffering of others with emphasis compassion. Suffering is considered 3 kinds of suffering. 3 kinds. We already learned that. What are they? Suffering, suffering change, pervasive condition suffering. Now look, what we learned before, now we're applying this here. Application part. 3 kinds of suffering. First, you take the suffering. Take the suffering, which is the manifest suffering. While you do that, you do it in ways, incorporate that with the breath. You breathe in. As you breathe in, imagine that the manifest first, the suffering, the manifest suffering for others, sickness, aging, death, loss of hope, and then the losing houses, bombs, and domestic violence and so forth, all these. Just imagine that you are taking these sufferings from others in the form of very dirty water gushing through your left nostril. As you breathe in, just imagine that all these manifest sufferings in different forms, and if possible, try to contemplate these. What kind of sufferings? For example, KFC. All these chickens, how many millions of chickens get killed in a day, just simply for the food. 5 minutes of enjoying your mouth, your tongue. 5 minutes. For how many millions of chickens are dying there? Just imagine their pains. You take them in the form of extremely dirty water gushing through your left nostril as you breathe in. And imagine that your self-centered attitude, it is presiding at your heart in a very relaxed way. And suddenly this very dirty, acidic, corrosive water, they gush into your left nostril, and then through a channel, and get to the heart, and then it eats up the self-centered attitude. And you can also visualize, you can be a little creative also, that it is actually, say, just imagine your heart, biological heart, if it meets with the acidic, very strong acid. What is the sulfuric acid? You're getting it? Say, with the very strong sulfuric acid, what is it like? Heart simply dissolves. It eats up. The acid just eats that up. Imagine that your heart, where the self-centered attitude finds as a dwelling, as a residence, suddenly this very dirty water, very corrosive, acidic, they gush through your left nostril, and then it's a meeting with the self-centered attitude, and your heart, it simply melts, dissolves them. And self-centered attitude is so like it is struggling. I'm being consumed. I'm dying. So just make it very creative in this way, and make it picturesque. Make it picturesque, right? That is what self-grasping, self-centered, just like struggling. That the acidity is that eating itself. And then this, whatever it consumes, self-centered, they all pass by your body and underneath the ground. And so take it like 3 times. The manifest suffering of the KFC, poor animals, in the slaughterhouses, in the hands of the terrorists, and for example, the poor animals, the sea animals in the 5-star hotel, aquarium, where the fish, the crabs, they're just for eating. Just think of that, and then just imagine that you are taking the suffering of them. Okay. Then the suffering change. Suffering change. They say take the suffering change, meaning the bait, not just mundane happiness, right? Take the mundane happiness of others. We may become excited to take that, but take that knowing that in the form of a bait. Bait means is extremely, they say the cruel, it's extremely vicious, the bait. So that to take the suffering change in the form of the bait. Now all the beings, they are free from the bait, from the lure of the suffering change. Take that, and again same thing, in the form of the very dirty water gushing through your left nostril, then eating up the self-centered attitude, your biological heart. And when a biological heart is eaten away, what do you feel? You'll feel like a jerk. Like, guess what? Oh, my heart is eaten up. So when that happens, why this happening is because that our self-centered attitude is actually being affected. My heart. So there, your self-centered attitude is attacked. And so that with this, how the self-centered attitude is mitigated. And you are doing this practice, not that somebody is forcing you. Because you are doing it, you are taking the side of the other cherished mind to attack the self-centered attitude. So self-centered attitude will become less and less powerful. Then pervasive conditioned suffering. How the beings suffer because of the mastermind of the contaminated karmas and afflictions, and particularly the self-grasping ignorance. You take all these again with the same thing. Okay, ready? We'll do that now. We'll do that. And each time when you take, imagine that as a result, then the beings are free of suffering, where they have acute health issues, cancer problems, so forth. The cancer removed, you have taken that, and now they feel so relieved. Domestic violence, they're free from the domestic violence. All the family members, they become so cordial, calm, compassionate. They feel the relief. KFC, all the poor chickens, they're released, and you feel so relieved. The victims in the hands of the terrorists, again, they're relieved. They pay an order taken by you, and they feel relieved. You just feel that they are relieved from the 3 respective sufferings. Okay, first. Okay. Visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened masters. And yourself surrounded by your 2 parents, and all family members, including children, and all other dimensional beings. Okay. First, taking the suffering. Breathe in. As you breathe out, imagine that it's fighting with this dirty water. They are fighting with the self-centered attitude, and you're consuming your heart, and it slowly passes down. Three times. Next suffering change in the form of the bait which deceives all the samsaric beings 3 times. Next, taking the pervasive conditioned suffering. Now imagine that the beings are all freed from suffering change, and the pervasive conditioned suffering that now stop shedding tears. They stop completely shedding tears. Okay, next step 5. Okay, come out. Step 5. Step 5 is giving your happiness to others. Giving happiness to others with emphasis on loving kindness. Giving your happiness. Giving is generosity. And again, there are different kinds of practices. Don't think that what we are doing here, this is the right one, and all others which deviate a little bit, they're wrong. This is not the case. Always keep this in mind. Okay, giving. In the standard text, there's a mention of 4 kinds of giving, 4 kinds of generosity, 4. So it will become very comprehensive. 4 kinds of generosity. Number 1, generosity of material resources. Generosity of material resources. Number 2, generosity of love and affection. Generosity of affection. Generosity of affection. Number 3, generosity of protection. Generosity of protection, or generosity of protection / fearlessness. Generosity of protection / fearlessness. These 2 are same. And finally, generosity of dharma. Say, if you read the biography of the great teachers, for example, like Geshe Milarepa very clearly said that I don't have the offering of the material resources. Usually when you speak of the offerings in generosity, it is tied with the concept of generosity of the material resources. So Geshe Milarepa said, I don't have any material resources. I don't have the offerings of material resources, but I'll offer my spiritual practices. So when you speak about the generosity, there are so many kinds. They say we need to broaden our knowledge. Generosity is not confined to material resources. So the first one, in fact, the material resource, generosity of material resources, this is the grossest and easiest. Number 2 is more difficult. Number 3 is more difficult. Number 4 is most difficult. So first, the generosity of material resources. Just imagine that as you breathe out, again imagine that your virtues, material resources that you have, and material resources, they are the results of the virtues. The virtues and the material resources that you have, just visualize that as you breathe out, you are sending that in the form of white nectars and the lights through your right nostril, and then the mere touch of these nectars, and the lights with the beings who are deprived of material resources. These nectars, they transform into material resources. If somebody wants food, it transforms into food. If somebody wants house, it transforms into a house. So whatever the beings require, these nectars, they transform in that particular form, and they are they're protected from having to suffer the lack of material resources, and they get all the material resources. They feel that their problems are solved. Okay, this is one. First, the generosity of material resources. Number two, generosity of affection. So oftentimes, when we see that people give up, people feel helpless, so hopeless. People feel hopelessness and helplessness. So primarily, these are because that they don't get love and affection from others. For example, say the moment somebody comes to you, that comes to that person, when affection is given, when the person listens to you, you have things to say, you have grievances, you have pains you like to share. You share these pains, or the person listens to you. The person will listen to you only if the person has affection towards you, person has a sense of compassion for you. So the person listens to you, feel the affection of the other person. Instantly the healing takes place. Healing takes place. And because of this, your depression will instantly go away, disappear. You'll be uplifted from the elevated, from the state of depression to the state of lightness, because of somebody giving you affection. So as you breathe out again, your virtues and so forth, they go in the form of the white nectars and lights. They go out. Then the mere touch with the beings who are lost in the sense of hopelessness, helplessness, and so forth, and the confusion and so forth, the lack of love and affection. Imagine these transform into, say, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Maitreya, Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and even yourself there. And then you sit with the person, talk to the person, listen to the person. And then imagine that person is talking to you, and the person feels that there's somebody who's listening to me with so much love and affection, and I don't have to feel hopelessness. There's a person who can elevate me from the state of misery to the state of hope. There's somebody there. Instant person feels the healing. Just visualize these. This is number two. What is third? Verse number third. The generosity of protection or fearlessness. Okay. Here we can be as creative. For example, like the captives in the hands of the terrorists. They don't know what the next minute is going to be like, what the next second is going to be like. They don't know. And imagine the poor chickens in the KFCs. Imagine these poor animals in the aquarium in the hotels. Imagine the domestic violence, who are constantly abused, beaten up, mentally tortured, and so forth. Just think of these. And you can take one at a time, not all together. Then effectiveness will go away. One at a time, one incident. So like, yes, there are things. How many people underground, mafias, they keep people hostages. How many people are suffering? They don't know what the next moment is going to be like. Just think of these. And as you breathe out, just imagine that all these lights, the white lights and the nectars, the mere touch, they manifest in the form of yourself. Yourself, say for example, the terrorists, the captives with the terrorists. Yourself, and then you talk to the terrorists. They release this person. Whatever you want, I'll give you. Ransom, whatever you want, I'll give you. And the person says, then you can visualize that, the person listening to you, take the ransom, and the person release. And that person gets the fearlessness. and the person meets with the parents, children, husband, wife, the family members, felt so relieved. And if you can do even more drastic practice, more radical practice than this, then imagine that the terrorist doesn't listen to you. I have to slaughter somebody. Then you say that, slaughter me. If at all you want to slaughter somebody, release the person, instead slaughter me. And imagine that terrorist actually slitting your throat. You're getting it? And yet, your mind then observe your mind. Your mind says, no, no, no. When you say no, 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 self-centered attitude is talking, not you. Self-centered is saying, no, no, no. And still, yes, you say yes, yes, yes. Self-centered is just no, no, no. So you're fighting with the self-centered attitude. You're getting it? This is how the self-centered attitude becomes less, less, less. It's all out of concern for that captive. Your love for the captive increases. Okay. Likewise, imagine that in the hotels, in the five-star hotels, or in many of the hotels, where the what? Seafood, the crab just taken out, and then in some cases just chopped directly, or broke the limbs and then throw into the hot boiling oil. And then imagine that you're talking to the chef. Release this, I'll pay you. And they say, so this is one way you can do that. If you can do it even more strong, then you can tell the chef, if at all you have to boil somebody in the hot oil, you boil me. And imagine your limbs are being cut and you're thrown into the hot boiling oil. And what's the feeling like? So that feeling is the self-centered attitude is acting on you. Like this. Self-centered attitude is acting on you. And then say, no, no, no. This poor crab is really, I'm happy. I'm happy that I die is fine. So there, your courage builds up. Your courage becomes strong. It is, for following the Bodhicitta path, we need to build our courage. We need to train in our courage to make the courage stronger, courage more and more strong. So these are the ways to do that. Whereas, if you think of yourself, the chef, cutting your limbs and then throwing into hot boiling oil, if you think that this is too much, don't do that. I'm saying this again. Don't do that. If you feel that it's too much, no, I cannot bear this feeling, don't do that. Just talk to the chef, and the chef, you give some ransom to the chef, or you buy the crab, you buy the fish, and then you give the money and release the fish, crab to its original place where it meets with its own creed, and so relieved. Just visualize this much. So those who can do even more intense, then there's the other side, which I told you. So this is what we should be doing. Okay. Then what is next? The fearlessness and finally the dharma. Okay. And also the fearlessness, for example, say the one would be like, say in the hospitals, hospices. What is meant by hospice? What is meant by hospice? Anyone? What is hospice?
Hospice is special house for old people who already
Yes.
who need to dead.
Thank you. The place where young people, some of you young people may not know what a hospice is. The place where some people, they're just waiting for their last breath, which means just waiting for the death. Okay. And so there, this is one thing. And then also in some hospitals, the people in ICU, no hope, ICU, and then the last breath. So there you can visualize, you can imagine that you, by going there, your virtues and so forth you send forth, and these virtues will manifest in the form of longevity, long life. And then this longevity the person gets, and the person miraculously healed and meet with the parents and even the relatives, the family members. They crave that the person live for the next at least 1 year, 2 years, or a few months. And imagine that miraculously the person healed because of your merit transformed into the longevity, the form of longevity of that person. And the person which meets with their family, having food together, just feeling such deep, say, I'm finally relieved from the fear of dying. So this is the generosity of fearlessness or protection. So you can be creative. Finally, what? Generosity of dharma. Generosity of dharma. Of all the kinds of generosity, ultimately generosity of dharma is the most precious, because the first three generosities, they're all temporary solutions, they're all temporary measures. For example, the material resources you give some material resources, you give food today, but tomorrow who will give the food? Then the affection, you give affection today, then after a few years, again the person may go through depression without somebody giving affection. Again, it's temporary solution. Then the protection of life or fearlessness. Again, same thing. The fish, you capture it. The fisherman captures, you buy, release. Again, the next fisherman may again capture it. So these are all temporary solutions. But the dharma is the ultimate solution for the problems of the sentient being. So all the generosity of dharma is the most precious. So each of us, we have to make commitment that may I become Buddha, so that I can be generous, I can practice generosity in the most perfect way of sharing the wisdom to liberate all the beings from fears altogether. You getting it? This is the best of the generosity. So, dharma, again 4. Dharma of renunciation, dharma of bodhicitta, dharma of wisdom of emptiness, and the dharma of non-duality of bliss and emptiness. 4. Okay, let me repeat it. Generosity of dharma, dharma of renunciation, dharma of bodhicitta, dharma of wisdom of emptiness, and the dharma of non-dual wisdom and emptiness, non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Okay, these 4 dharmas. Okay, the first. So when you do that, visualize that as you breathe out, these the lights and nectars, the mere touch with the beings, they manifest in the form of, again, the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Arya Manjushri, Arya Avalokiteshvara, Arya Maitreya, and so all the enlightened masters, and yourself also manifested there. And then giving teachings on renunciation, giving teachings on 4 seals. 4 seals, so that the beings, imagine that the beings, okay, they realize I should not be renunciations, primarily to stop the negative karmas, contaminant karmas, and the ignorance, afflictions. So you give dharma to them that they learn how to, I should renounce harming others, so that I will be free from harms. I should, by giving teachings for seals, you teach them that, okay, now I realize I should stop harming others. I should stop the afflictions. I must stop the afflictions. I must stop the self-grasping ignorance. Okay, so then renouncing the causes of the miseries. Renounce the causes of the miseries in the form of contaminant karmas and afflictions. I must renounce these. Now I realize. Okay, so this renunciation gives them the guarantees these beings to be freed from samsara, free from the pains. Then the next, the dharma of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. So there, imagine that you are again the nectars, they transform into these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and yourself also there, giving teaching on Bodhicitta. Giving teaching on Bodhicitta. Now, express love and affection to all the beings. The beings, they come to know that thus far I'm being deceived by my self-centered attitude. Now I realize that the secret of the happiness lies in compassion. For my own benefit, even for my own benefit, compassion is the secret of my own happiness, not to mention of the benefit for others. So, imagine that because of your teaching, because of teaching all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to these beings, they become very convinced. Therefore, some leaders of the world, all the leaders of the world who are waging wars, and all these people who are creating problems in the family, in your community, and so forth, these people, they realize that, okay, I'm all doing all these nasty things with expectation, I'll be happy. But this real secret of happiness lies in compassion. They realize this because of the teaching that you and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas give to them on the teaching on the Bodhicitta. They realize that and they make commitment that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Imagine that they're making commitment. Now, for these beings to materialize this aspiration of renunciation Bodhicitta, they have to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements, afflictive obscurations to fill the total fearlessness, and carnal obscuration to remove carnal obscuration to fill the infinite happiness. For that matter, the cleansing happens by wisdom of emptiness. So now the third is giving the teaching on wisdom of emptiness. And whatever little experience emptiness that you have, like subjecting things to ultimate analysis, then the object per se dissolves in the eyes of ultimate analysis, and then how your mind reacts, your mind calms down. Imagine that again, your nectars transform into Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they give teachings, and then imagine they realize emptiness, and you meditate emptiness a little bit. This emptiness is what all these beings are experiencing, because of which the mental defilements are being cleansed one by one. And then they experience, because the mental defilements are cleansed, they will experience the nirvana and Buddhahood, the ultimate goal that they are seeking. And finally what? Generosity of non-dual wisdom, the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Say, non-duality of bliss and emptiness is, okay, say you say the mother is helping the child and the nurse is helping the child. Which of the two is more effective when helping the child? The mother is more effective, right? Mother is more effective. Okay, look, why the mother is more effective? Anyone, quick? Why the mother is more effective in helping the child? Because the mother loves the child. This is the key. You're getting it? Some people say, because the mother knows the child better. This is not the reason. Sometimes the nurses or the teachers, they know the child better than the mother knows. But the unique thing about the mother is that the love, affection, that makes things work so effectively. Sometimes, just imagine that nowadays, for me, writing short articles is not a problem. Earlier days, maybe like 15 years ago, writing articles, short articles, it gives me so mentally exhausted. Think of writing short articles, say in English articles. It makes me tired. And when I'm to help somebody, oh, this person needs help, I have to help write. Then I write, it's effortlessly happening. Effortlessly happening. 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, effortlessly happening. I was wondering, even one short paragraph, I feel so exhausted, tired, drained. But now it's happening effortlessly. 2 pages, 3 pages, very easily. Wow, amazing. What is this? So then I realized that when I really feel compassionate towards somebody who requires help, and if I don't help, nobody will help, and person will suffer. So for that matter, I have to write, right? I read it and it flows so beautifully, not at all tired. Then I sense that again is your compassion that makes things to work very flow very effectively, no tiredness. So the non-duality of bliss and emptiness, right? Emptiness is a pure cognitive activity of the mind. Wisdom emptiness is the pure cognitive activity of the mind. And how effective that's going to be like is determined by how joyful you feel. If you don't feel joyful, it's a burden. If you feel joyful, it's not a burden, it's fun. When it's fun, it flows so seamlessly. So union of bliss and emptiness, bliss here is where no obstructions you feel. You don't feel any obstructions. Your mind flows so freely with the greatest ease. Your mind flows with ease plus the cognitive sharpness combined together. It so effectively cuts through all our mental defilements. So that is the best, most effective way to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements. Okay, these four. Ready? Ready? Okay. So as we breathe out, again the same thing, as you breathe out. As you breathe out, so just imagine all your virtues, the good things, they go out in the form of white nectar and the lights. So first, the generosity of material resources. So this is how we have to do. Okay, ready? Good. Okay, with the material resources, say the light nectar's touch, the mere touch transforms into yourself, you, and giving the material resources whatever they require, and they feel so relieved. Next, generosity of love and affection. Good. Generosity of fearlessness and protection. Good. Next, generosity of dharma. The first, generosity of the teaching of the dharma of renunciation. Next, the dharma bodhicitta. Next, the dharma of the wisdom of emptiness. Next, the dharma of the non-duality, bliss and emptiness. Are you good? Good? Okay. What is next? Anyone? What is next? Yes, Leon. Thank you. Next step. Step number 6. The actual exchange of self and others. So here, when you say exchange means it's not that, okay, now from today onwards you will become me and I'll become you. This is not the meaning. Exchange means exchanging the object of cherishing. Exchanging the object of cherishing. Thus far, you cherish yourself the most. Now henceforth, I'll cherish others more than to myself. Thus far, I've been indifferent towards others, oblivious towards others. If at all I should be oblivious to somebody, I'll be oblivious to myself. You getting it? So here, it's not self-denial. We may think that, okay, I'll cherish others more than myself. Now I ignore myself. This is not the meaning. This is a very profound practice. It came only after completion of step 5, where you see the maximum benefit in cherishing others. You see the worst of the demerits of cherishing yourself. And then you do this actual practice. You see that cherishing others is actually the best way to be kind to yourself. So from this point of view, then you reinforce cherishing others, you exchange the object of cherishing. Henceforth, if at all I should cherish somebody, I'll cherish others more than myself. Henceforth, if at all I should be oblivious to somebody, I'll be oblivious to myself than to others. So you make a very strong mental commitments. Henceforth, I'll cherish others. I will cherish others more than myself. Just mentally make this commitment very strong. There's nothing really special as that technique, whatever. Through the part of the first 5 steps, then you reinforce the commitment that now it makes sense that I should cherish myself. This is the wisest thing to do for my own personal interest, for the interest of others. Even for my own personal interest, this is the wisest thing to do, cherish others. For my own interest, for the interest of all other beings, the wisest thing to do is to be indifferent, to be oblivious to myself than to others. You make a very strong, you reinforce this feeling, commitment very strongly. They make this commitment. Henceforth, I will exchange the object of cherishing and the object of being indifferent. Henceforth, I've been cherishing myself, I've been indifferent towards others. Now I cherish the objects. Henceforth, I will cherish others and being oblivious to myself. And try to make it as wholesome as possible. And you create a scenario. Okay, when I go out, when driving a car, if somebody cuts me, okay, I made a commitment that I should cherish others. So here, I'll stop and let the other person pass by, rather than get out and they end up fighting with fighting with the other person. So, just mentally create, okay, now on the aeroplane, when the then lands, and when the bell rings, ding, everybody gets up. Okay, now I cherish others myself. Okay, let others pass by. Right? Others pass by, but we should be very realistic. You're getting it? Say you are in the first row, and you let everybody pass by, till the end. Everybody pass by, and a hostess may be a little angry towards you. What are you doing? Get out. We have to clean this. You're getting it? Be very realistic, extremely skillful. Just observe your mind, right? Say the first 3, 4, 5 lines, the rows, people leave, and the space, there's a space there because the next person is coming. So there, when there's space there, then don't let the air hostess wait for you. You getting it? You get up and just this short space, you just get through and get out, so that you don't disturb the air hostess also. Don't think that I'm Bodhicitta practitioner. You're getting, we should be very realistic. Okay, where your agitation, your anger, selfishness, ego, and so forth, anger, when they're arising, then think that I am a Bodhicitta practitioner. You're getting it? Okay. So with this is step number 6, actually exchange of self and others. And before we wind up, let me share this. These practices in action, these practices require a lot of time and a lot of effort. It's not like 2 + 3 = 5, full stop. It not happens like this. To invoke the experience will take time. You're getting it? To invoke the experience will take time. Once experience starts to arise, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful feeling. You see that it's expanding, your heart is expanding. It's so beautiful. You're getting it? It's so beautiful. And this feeling of the beauty, the lightness, even if you take a pill and if you get this feeling of the lightness, expansiveness, if you could get this a pill, by taking pill and get this feeling, this pill would be even more costly than $1 billion. By paying $1 billion, you will not get such a pill. This is only through practice. And yet, the treasure is inside. You have to retrieve this treasure. Amazingly beautiful feeling. You will realize that such a feeling can never happen through your normal, what we call as compassionate being. Somebody's compassionate is very different. So that's it. And it'll take time. So I'd like to share the one anecdote of my teacher, Venerable Rinpoche. You're getting it? For us, each one of us, to be inspired that no matter how much the time it takes, if you persevere, you're bound to experience these results, beautiful results. Okay, my teacher, he was young in those days, in his hermitage, which is right above. How many have been to TCV school, Upper TCV school, where I graduated from? Raise hands. Bumugaji, Anka, Tinshirbla, yes, here, there. Okay, same. Just above the school where I was brought up, just above that there was a hill, and in the hill, you see there are several hermitages, and my teacher. So then, the facilities were so poor, and now it's very different. Now the hermitage today and hermitages then, very different. In those days, say from the hermitage you have to climb down the hill like this, very steep down, and you have to fetch the water from down there. And luckily the school installed one running water tap there, and so the hermits can come down and get the water in a jerry can. Okay, the Arman, what is jerry can? You know?
Jerry can, like the one where you pour oil to burn cars.
Like this. The jerry is not like this. Anyone who knows jerry can? Okay, jerry can. Okay, yes, Ashaji. container. You're getting it? Hey, Armin, listen, what jerrycan is. Ashaji, please say it again. Huge container with 20 liters. 20 liters. Okay, but last time in the Vulture Speak, you pulled me up, right? Okay, 20 liters. So there's the hermits from the hilltop, they have to climb down with the jerrycan. This metal container, actually meant for kerosene, to carry kerosene. And so they have this jerrycan to get water for the cooking, drinking, food, for taking shower, whatever. And climb all the way just for this 20-liter water, you have to climb down. And this 20-liter water, you have to carry it up. No running water next to your house. So, my teacher, jerrycan down, he must be in his mid-20s. Raise hands who are in mid-20s? Mid-20s. Mid-20s. No one. It's strange. Mid-20s, mid-20s, mid-20s. Okay, mid-20s. He was in his mid-20s with the jerrycan. Leon, next time I'll send you there with the jerrycan, right? Down. And then the up jerrycan. Up, you have to climb up. And even without anything, so partly the place is very slippery with the sand, very slippery. I don't know how my teacher and other hermits, they climb with 20 liters of water and climbing up every day for all these 16, 20, 30 years. Then my teacher would climb down, and very young, hot blood, in 20s. And the plumber, what is plumber? Ashaji, what is plumber? Hey, Kavitaji, what is plumber? Who repairs, who fixes the water pipes, and who is responsible for fixing the water tap? The plumber, another 20, somebody totally inexperienced, like 20s, would come and say that, hey, pointing to my teacher when he was 20s, hey, you broke the tap yesterday, water tap yesterday. And said, sir, no, I did not. You did it. Right? Baselessly blaming my teacher. You did it. And my teacher is also like same age. And the other person is in a way flexing his muscle. And my teacher also not flexing muscle, but he's young. And then said, you did it. He said, no, I mean it. I mean it. You did it. You broke this. Otherwise, who broke it? And who said, my teacher will say, no, I did not do it. And then anger coming up. And you did it. You cannot live in the human community. So therefore, you run away in the mountains. And you don't know how to take care of these. You broke this. And then after a while, it becomes hot. He did that, right? Said, hey, enough is enough. Right? Enough is enough. Now, shut up. I also have the muscles, right? I'm also young, right? Okay. Then he filled the water and he got up, climbed, and got it down, and sat down on the Bodhicitta seat. Sit down. His name is Jambal Tenzin. Then he was telling himself, hey, Jambal Tenzin, tell me, what did you do today? What was your day like? Oh, I went down to get water. So what? Then what? I get down. Then what? Then I meet with the plumber. So what? So the plumber blamed me this, that he... And then what did you say? I said, no, I did not do that. Then what did you say? He said, yes, you did it. And what did you say? And what? What? Then I said, enough is enough. Right? I said, enough is enough. Okay. But, hey, Jambal Tenzin, you claim yourself to be a Bodhicitta practitioner. This plumber, the poor plumber, he did not claim as a Bodhicitta practitioner. He did not claim as a retreatant. And you claim as a retreatant, meditator, Dhamma practitioner. And you shame on you. Oh yes, Yes, it's my mistake. What mistake? You made it. You did it. Or tomorrow I'll not do it. Are you sure? Yes. Tomorrow, no matter, let him beat me. Let him kill me. I'll not say anything against him. Good. Tomorrow, again jerrycan. Down. Again the plumber comes. Hey, you the rabbit like. You broke this again yesterday. Sir, no. Yes, you broke it. Otherwise, who else will broke? Nobody comes here. Only the people like you who cannot manage your household family things. Then you go there and you broke this, right? And then they again getting heated up. Oh, no, Bodhicitta, right? Yes, I made a commitment. Yes, let him beat. He's not beating me. Let him beat. Let him kill me. But I'll not say anything. He's not beating me. Look, you're dumb fool. Not saying anything. Who broke this otherwise? I did not break it. You broke it, right? And then enough is enough. Right? Enough is enough. Again, water. Climb up, put down, and sit down. Hey, Jambatan, what did you do? Talking to himself. I met the same guy. So what did he say? He said like this. And what do you think? Then no. I should not. He let him kill me. Let him beat me. I'll not say anything bad against him. And then what? Then he is again abusing me. So what? Then I couldn't control myself. I said, enough is enough. But you said he didn't beat you. He said, let him beat me. Let him kill me. I'll not say anything bad. But he did not forget about killing. He did not even beat you. So why do you say this? Yes, that's true. What true? You are supposed to be, you claim to be a practitioner. You left everything behind and you come here as a retreatant, as a meditator. What have you been meditating? Where is your Bodhicitta? That's true. Oh, tomorrow I'll not do that. Tomorrow, let him beat me. Let him kill me. 7 years. 7 years of this practice. Finally, my teacher was saying that after 7 years, no matter how abusive the other person is, abusive words, mentally he do not feel any anger. The victory over the anger. Then he went up jerrycan. He's so happy. Put on jerrycan, sat down, and the Bodhicitta seat, sat down. Then thought to himself, hey Jambal-tensei, what did you do? Today, I'm so happy. Why happy? Oh, because I won over the anger. No anger arising. And he was abusing so much, but no agitation, no anger, whatever. I'm so happy today. Did you feel compassion towards that person? No. Right? No, you came here not just to stop your anger, but to build compassion. Bodhicitta, your mattress is Bodhicitta mattress. It's not just no anger mattress, it's a Bodhicitta mattress. What are you doing? Don't feel complacent. You have not come to the story. Still, you way to go. You're right. What right? Oh, tomorrow I'll do that. I'll have compassion. Again, it took him another 1 year. Another 1 year. Then finally he said, after complete 7 years, like 7, 8 years, then when this person abused him, instead of anger, he started to feel genuine compassion towards this person. So this is a practice. You're getting it? In other words, when we encounter with difficult people, remember these stories. These were very inspiring stories. So, my teacher, amazing. One time, he was invited to America to lead a group of people for a sustained meditation, for long-term meditation. And there was one gentleman, one of his students, and he would visit my teacher, every day. One day, and the student asked, of course his teacher also, asked the teacher, sir, I visit you every day. Don't you feel that you are being bothered by me? And he said that, look, These are the things that we need to remember, you, me, all of us. He said, are you not bothered? Don't you feel bothered by me? He said, yes, I'm bothered. But, he said, I'll be more happy that you bother me than you not coming to visit me. Don't forget this message. For us, it's very different. What he's saying is that I would be more happy that you bother me than not coming to visit me. Meaning, visit me so that I'll be happy. No. Visit me that you are learning something. I'm bothered. If you don't come to visit me, I will be meditating. And you come to visit me, I'm bothered. But you are growing. I want your growth is more important. I want to see you growing. That is compassion. You're getting it? And for us, what is the situation like? I'll tell you a story. There's one gentleman. He's supposed to be my friend. And one day I bumped into his room. I knocked at the door, and what he told me, this is normally how the people like us behave. He must be meditating. He was so angry, he opened the door and said that, Dorji, don't you know that I'm meditating? You're getting it? Don't you know that I'm meditating? This is who we are, most of us. You're getting it? This is our selfishness. This is our selfishness. So remember this great teacher who said that I would be more happy that you disturb me than you not coming to me at all. If you don't come to me, you will not learn. Your growth, your learning is more important for me than my own meditation. This is that deep, real compassion in action. Okay, we stop here. Day-8 Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhicitta Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhicitta Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhicitta. 3 processions.